Can a person be addicted to gambling? Some may say, what is gambling? Gambling is taking part in a game or an activity, risking a sum of money or an object of value with the possibility of losing it or of winning a prize or more money. Now that we have a refresher of what gambling means, I would like you to define the following terms in your own words. What is an addiction? Alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling addiction, risk, and underage gambling. You can define or give examples of each of these terms in your own words. You have about 6 minutes to define the following terms in your own words, so please. What you need to know about addiction. Addiction is the inability to control one's involvement in an activity, such as gambling, or one's use of a substance, such as drugs or alcohol. With addictions come some negative risk factors. A person who suffers with alcoholism may have slurred speech. They can affect one of their major organs, the liver. A person with a drug addiction can also damage their major organs internally as well. However, their appearance, the way they look, may change drastically. A person with a gambling addiction may decide to do things that they don't necessarily or will normally do. For example, instead of paying their bills, they decide to take the bill money and go gamble with it. A person with a gambling addiction may decide to start being dishonest, to not tell people the truth of where the money is going. They may also resort to stealing to be able to support their habit of gambling. So I just went over giving you examples of alcoholism, drug addiction, and gambling addiction. So I want us to look at the images on this slide. The top image, you see a hand with some keys in it. If you look a little closely, you'll see some jewelry that looks like a watch. You'll see some poker chips and things like that. This is showing us that this person is putting up more than money. They're putting up objects of value to be able to stay in this game. So this looks a little bit much, on the verge of an addiction. Now let's go down to the image where the young lady is texting behind the wheel. It appears she's texting and driving, which is a risk that can result in possibly injury or loss. The man that's on her windshield, she could have hit him, and that could have resulted in injury for him or even fatality, him losing his life. And the last image you see is of a young kid at a poker table, underage gambler. You have to be 21 years of age to gamble. That means in a gambling establishment like the casinos, and you have to be 18 years or older to participate in the lottery. Things getting out of control, which can lead to panic, anxiety, and depression. On safestbettingsites.com/gambling addiction, there are 5 myths versus facts that we are going to go over. Number 1, I've been on a losing streak, so I'm due to win soon. This is something we call gambler's fallacy. So what this means is it is important to realize that the past events do not influence future results. Just because you've gone through a rough losing streak, it does not mean that you are due to win in the future. All plays are independent. Nothing flows over or continues to the next play. Myth number 2, I'm feeling lucky. Honestly, there are plenty of things in life that are beyond your control, and gambling outcomes can be one of them. Having a lucky charm or feeling lucky when gambling is absolute nonsense and should never be used as a justification for placing more bets. Luck is something that happens randomly and cannot be predicted. Luck can be a fortunate event or it can be an adverse event. A fortunate event means that it's something good. An adverse event means that it's something that's not so good. Myth number 3. This machine is hot and due for a jackpot. Fact, There is no such thing as a hot machine or one that is due for a big win. Slot machines and other gambling devices do not pay close to 100%. So, anyone playing them is almost certainly going to be a long term loser. Pulling the handle, only pressing the button, switching machines, and other superstitions also have no bearing on the outcome. Myth number 4: I can't have a gambling problem because I'm rich. The fact is, just because one is not having financial issues due to gambling does not mean that the habit is not affecting their life. Problem gamblers become obsessed and their behaviors often affects their relationships, work, or other activities that were once important to them. Their main concern basically becomes gambling. That's their life. That's the only thing that they think of every day, all day. And it does affect relationships. Myth number 5: I'm a responsible person. I can't get addicted to gambling. The fact is, this statement just isn't true. Anyone in all walks of life can be vulnerable to all sorts of addictions. Some of the most successful people in the world have developed gambling problems. The death of a loved one, depression, and stress are some of the situations that might take anyone from recreational gambler to an addict. So now that we have all that information, we're going to go back to the original question. Can a person be addicted to gambling? And the answer is yes.